let's talk about radians versus degrees. What exactly do they mean? Where do they come from? And which one is actually going to be better for us to be able to use? I always like to create a little debate in my class. I'm kind of thinking because I think we just assume that degrees are better and degrees are going to be easier. And it's so hard for sometimes students to transition to using radians. Let's just kind of do a little review, a little comparison of what are the differences between degrees and radians, which one's easier to understand and easier to use for multiple problems. Remember when we were first learning about degrees, one of the first angles that we talk about is the almighty 90-degree angle, right? That's going to be kind of making that little box there. And a 90-degree angle was equal to 90 degrees. Now, we didn't give an explanation of why it was 90 degrees, why it wasn't 89 or 91. We usually just say, hey, this is going to be 90 degrees. And then we say, all right, so if you have two of those 90-degree angles, that's going to produce like a straight line, right? So this is going to be 180 degrees. Again, no explanation is really given for why it's 180 rather than, I don't know, 100, right? We just say, that's 180 degrees. Now, if you kind of take two straight lines together and you make what we call like a circle going all the way around, we say that is going to be 360. Again, these are angles that everybody's like comfortable with because we use them so often in real life. But if you kind of think about this or take a step back, like where did these numbers come from? And why do we just accept these measurements for our angles? Maybe it's a question you've never pondered or really cared about, but I think it is important to understand that we've been using these angles because they've been accepted measures. Now, I'm not against degrees. And actually, if you read about the history of degrees and where it came from, it's actually very interesting and actually amazing that they would calculate the degrees of a circle to be 360 based on the Earth's orbit around the sun. Again, this was very, very ancient times, and it's really cool if you are not aware. But the point I want to get to this video is they still stuck on 360 because it's kind of a good number. It's easily divisible by many other numbers. But when you really try to understand like what does 360 really mean for the angles of a circle, it should kind of make you a little bit mad that it doesn't really have a great true meaning that it's grounded in mathematics. But then comes the radian. So if degrees is kind of like this number that we've used to represent the rotation creating a circle, which we're going to use as 360, then where exactly does the radian come from? Now, radians actually comes from a very similar origin here, which is going to be starting from a circle. Now, if you remember when we have a circle, right, there's a couple characteristics of circle that we should all be familiar with, like the center, the circumference, the diameter, and most importantly, the radius. Now, the radius is going to be the distance from the center of a circle to any point on the circle. So if I draw a nice little line here from the center to there, I can call that my radius. Now think about the radius as like a pasta noodle. As I rotate it around the circle, it's going to be rigid, right? But if I put that radius inside hot pasta water, it's not going to become rigid. It's going to become nice and little wobbly, and I can wrap it around my circle. So I can say theta, that measure of rotation, is going to be a radian. Now, if I go ahead and take this radius, right, and I wrapped another one around, so therefore that's going to be 2 radians wrapped around, that's going to produce another measure of rotation, right? And let's call this one alpha. So alpha is going to equal to 2 radians. And then if I was going to do that one more time, right, I'd get really, really close. But again, you can see that what I'm basically doing is taking this radius, wrapping it 3 times around the circle. Now I'm going to get really close, right? And this one we'll call beta right here. Now beta is going to equal a 3 radians. And the cool thing about this is it almost looks like it gets halfway around the circle. And when we're first learning about radians, we think about like, man, how cool would it be if actually it took 3 radiuses to wrap halfway around a circle? But unfortunately, as we kind of discover, we can't take 3 radii and wrap them around the circle. There's a little sliver that's a little bit extra. And as we actually start to calculate that, what we recognize here is that halfway around a circle is actually going to equal pi. So we can calculate radians in terms of numbers, like how many radii we're kind of rotating around the circle, or we can also talk about radians in terms of pi. So halfway around circle is equal to pi. That means that's going to make a straight angle. So from here to here is going to equal pi. Well, what is also equivalent to pi in terms of degrees? That's going to be 180 degrees. So I can say that pi is equal to 180 degrees. Or you could say 180 degrees is equal to pi. It doesn't really matter. But the cool thing about this is when I explain to somebody like what is the measure of degrees, a lot of times they get stumped. They just know 90, 80, 360, but they don't really understand what exactly it is. But if we're talking about radians, we know that's basically the radius wrapped around the circle. And that measure of rotation for that is exactly what we call a radian. And it takes 3.14159 ... radians to go halfway around a circle. Hopefully now we have a basic understanding of radians and degrees. How do we go ahead and convert one to the other? And then which one is actually going to be preferred? So if we want to convert one to the other, the best way I like to go ahead and look at this is just to look at other units. So typically students that are in maybe like a science class have, or in physics, they have more experience dealing with different units. But if I know 180 is equal to pi, then I can kind of make some assumptions assumptions here, right? So if I said, what is 90 degrees? Well, again, to go from 180 to 90 degrees, I just divide by 2. So if I just take pi and divide it by 2, you can see I have a quick and simple conversion. But what about this? What about if I had 60 degrees? How many radians is that going to equal to? And how do we go ahead and find that? The one thing I want you to understand is when we have degrees, we have this little degree symbol. When we have radians, we don't have that. And typically, unless we're dealing with radians in terms of the radii, we're going to use radians in terms of pi. So to convert from degrees to radians, it's best to kind of understand how we do that with other measurements. So for instance, just like pi is equal to 180, remember that we have 12 inches is equal to 1 foot. So let's just do a simple example. But what if I had 36 inches and I needed to know how many feet is that going to be equal to? So what do I do here? Well, what I'm going to do is use a conversion multiple. So what we're going to do is if I rewrite 12 inches equal to 1 foot, if I rewrite that as a fraction, they're the same measurement, right? So I'm not actually changing anything with those fractions. So what I'll do is here, I'll take a 36 inches and I'm going to multiply that by 1 foot over 12 inches. Now, why am I putting the 12 inches in the denominator rather than the 1 foot in the denominator? And the reason being is because I want the units to be able to divide out. So now what I have here is if you kind of multiply this out, you have a 36 inches times a 1 foot all over a 12 inches. 12 evenly divides into 36, right? 3 times. The inches go ahead and divide out. And then 3 times 1 feet is just going to equal a 3 feet, which is our answer. So in this case, that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and use my conversion multiple. Now, the case says is what should I put in the denominator? Should I put pi in the denominator or should I put degrees in the denominator? Well, if I want to go from degrees to radians, I want to get rid of the degrees. So if I want to figure out what these radians are, all I'm simply going to do is take 60 degrees and multiply it by a pi over 180 degrees. Again, these are equal measurements to each other. So we're not changing anything with this angle. Now, when I do this, I get a 60 degrees pi all over 180 degrees. Now again, 60 over 180 doesn't divide into 60. However, I can reduce this. I can divide a 60 in the numerator as well as in the denominator, which is going to give me a pi over 3. And again, I don't have any degrees here because the degrees are going to divide out. So 60 degrees is equal to a pi over 3. Now, which one of these is going to be easier? And is it necessary to know your degrees as well as your radians? And the simple answer for me is yes, you need to know both and be familiar with both. For me, I've always preferred radians because it actually makes intuitive sense of where a radian comes from, where pi comes from, and why we use them. I also like using fractions because it typically makes the problem easier to go ahead and simplify. When we're using larger angles, I'd much rather use improper fractions than doing calculations with really, really big numbers, especially if I don't have access to a calculator. But otherwise, there's really not much difference between the radians and degrees. It can be a lot with just your preference, but I hope this video was helpful for you. If you want more examples, check out the playlist and resources I have down below, or check out the next video I have for you here.